Hi there, it's a couple of Wessex blades. I thought I'd do a different approach today, because the last thing I'm trying to do is be the wedge that splits a community apart. The problem is, at the moment there's starting to be a bit of a rift, and I don't want that to turn into a gulf. And I'm sort of offering up a bit of an olive branch to Bushcraft magazine, because if they don't wake up, there's going to be a schism. The issues that had risen their head from the Bushcraft show wasn't the fact that it was raining. The issues were there wasn't really clarity on how vehicles adjoining shelters was clarified, so that everybody had black and white idea of exactly what they were allowed or not. And when the early people were asked to strike camp because they hadn't met the exact criteria, to wake up the following morning and anybody was on the field, regardless of whether their car was part of the shelter, sticks in the craw a bit. Either there's no cars on the allowed, or it's only cars with the lift up roof, the cool Land Rover things with the safari wagons, or not. The other issue was to send someone who's disabled and already contact you the fact that they were disabled to an area, and his helper, actually both his knees are screwed, he is in need of an operation, and then to take the toilets away from that little zone. Again, it needs just around us. Yeah, we could have played that a little bit better. The other issues were all I keep hearing. Again, I wasn't there. I'm just collating the information in order to present it to Bushcraft magazine. Virtually no water in the showers, so they weren't usable for a lot of the time, and the toilets were not enough of them. You know, the mud you've addressed, sir. Yes, you took advice, and yeah, hay may have soaked it up, but would have hampered drying, i.e. for the Land Rover, in order to recuperate his land. Okay, fine, yeah. But to throw it back and say, oh, have you any idea what it's like to organise an event for that? You know, you've done it for years, and it's a paid event, so in order to it's paid, there's services expected. To then also leave a dismissive remark at the end that there will always be moaners and there will always be sheep, you know, who jump on it. I'm 42 years old. I've been doing stuff like this in the outdoors before Ray Mears was on tracks. I've woke up enough winters with ice on the inside of my windows. You know, I've had enough nights where you got to get up in the morning, up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and redo the shelter. I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. I ain't a greenhorn, and a lot of my subs aren't either. Now, either my videos stand up to the test, they'll pass muster, or they won't. I've done enough things in the outdoors in front of people right there and then. Yeah, my skill set's pretty good, and I am a bushcrafter. I'm also a knife maker, It's one of the founding members of Gear Bastion, which, if you research it, is an artisan shop front. One of the original 8. I've been doing instructional videos on YouTube for 9 or 5 years now. I haven't charged a penny for any of it. I'm trying to get our section of the world, I'm trying to get our community more recognised than what it is at the moment. I'm trying to get artisans, and I'm trying to get industries within our little area lifted and respected from people who have no idea what they would have done beforehand, to be introduced to people who actually make things with leather by hand. It hasn't arrived from China. I'm trying to lift us all up, and in order to raise the game everywhere across the board, sometimes a critical word needs to be said. I had an issue a couple of months ago when I was dabbling with oil impregnation on my fire stills, and I'd actually had a sequence of events within the construction that wasn't conducive to having a negative pressure. The testing that I'd done didn't highlight that, so I had a message saying, "Here, it's broke, over to you." In exactly the same vein as I was presenting these collective views from the Bushcraft show, I didn't start saying, "You don't know what you're on about, you're just making it up, you're trying to pull a fast one, leave it with me, don't bother, don't waste your money and send it back, I'll see you right." I then investigated the way I was making my fire stills and decided that I would change the way that I was doing. I then made a replacement and I send it out gratis. You see, that's how you deal with constructive criticism. I'm not trying to pull a fast one. When my colleague who is disabled with whatever's had gone wrong in his back and his knees, and he picks up his helper and he needs his knees done as well, and I hear that you've took the toilets away, nah mate, no. All you got to do is go, the reason we moved it is because we're just trying to raise capacity in the main area. Sorry, yeah, that's all. You put your hands up and you make it better next time. That's the sort of resolution that heals hurts and bridges rifts, not disassociating yourself with people who've been doing this over a quarter of a century and are bending over backwards for other people within the community. And to be quite honest, sir, I must have been given around £2,000 worth of equipment free from people who only say, "Thanks Scott for the videos." This is an incredible community, and I can't have it. I can't have it, kind too. Not on my watch. So Bushcraft magazine, you got to make a step towards doing something about this, because we need to be bigger than what we are. We need to be more influential than what we are. We need to be there when all of a sudden the post office decide that they're not going to send Maya dust through the post, and we need to stand up, 200,000 of us together in one voice, and say, no, if it's in the tin, surely you can let us post it out. If the government suddenly decide that all Swiss Army knives need safety ends, we need to stand up, all of us together, with all our faults, and be as one. This is a step. This is an olive branch. Please, you've got to make the peace with us here, because if we end up in two camps, we won't be stronger for it. Scott from Wessex, please. Come on. Just raise your hand, mate, and say sorry. That's all we got.